Oh, fuck. I always forget at the beginning to say rate, review, subscribe, comment, share, upvote, all that. Zach, make this the clip at the beginning.
I got you.
Hello and welcome to this little thing that we like to call 7 Days Makes 1 Week. As you can see, I am joined by absolutely fucking nobody except Zach, because I guess it'd be kind of weird if I was in producer Zach's living room and I wasn't joined by him. Nico's getting his car fixed before a road trip, and Pierre is on a family trip down in Chestermere, so I'm flying solo today. So unfortunately for you lot, you're stuck with my ugly mug for the next 45 minutes to an hour. Producer Zach, man, you're gonna have to keep that microphone pretty close to you today. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I had a nice Easter with my family yesterday, and just kind of hanging out today, doing this with you, man. Can't complain at all.
Fantastic. Big Beast making an appearance as per usual, getting in his spot as he should, next to Darth Vader. So we were possibly thinking about starting off the week on a little bit of a lighter topic. Well, I guess kind of a lighter topic than we usually start. News had broken that Rihanna had been cheated on by soon-to-be baby daddy ASAP Rocky. Apparently it's not true. You were just telling me. And that the shoe designer that everyone was saying he had cheated on her with, tweeted herself that it wasn't true, which then got you and I talking about how the media can just take nothing and make it something so quickly, and that it's just like Charlemagne, a podcaster that I like, he says nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining. And that definitely fits here. Nobody really cares about the truth if the lie is more entertaining. Amina, is that the shoe designer? Amina Muadi?
Yeah, and I think it's gone, but it was on her story yesterday because I was doing a little bit of digging, and she came out with a statement saying that it's completely not true.
Well, her first picture, there's a pregnant Rihanna. Click
That's
on
right.
that one.
Because this is Rihanna's private Fendi designer on Rihanna's line, so they work very close together, and that's why it's kind of like a juicy story.
Wait, Fendi or Fenty?
I think it's Fendi.
Because Fenty is her makeup, right?
Right there, Fenty Beauty Founder.
Yeah, the Fenty is Rihanna's clothing or makeup.
Okay, here we go. That the representative
With a Fenty shoe designer. So Fenty must also be a clothing line or something like that. That just must. It's kind of a weird name with fentanyl being a thing, eh? To name your clothing line and your makeup and jewelry and all that Fenty. It's kind of weird.
Maybe that's how they're distributing it in the shoes that they make. That's how they're getting on a grand scale of distribution of the fentanyl.
Rihanna's actually just like a massive global drug kingpin.
She's not actually pregnant. There's just
she is from like the Bahamas or Barbados or something, you know.
Barbados, I think. Yeah.
Maybe like a touching point from a drug hub, so to say.
That's right.
Edited 4 days ago, she posted Rihanna with some outfit on and a baby bump.
And the statement that I saw was yesterday because I looked, but it was on her story, which means it's gone now.
Yeah, you can't see it anymore.
I wonder if there's a screenshot of it anywhere online. I can see if I can find it. But it was basically her saying that this is not true and that...
I mean, if you were working for one of the biggest lines and you fucked the boss's husband, you'd say it wasn't true too, I would assume.
For sure. But I think what the issue is, I think they are taking time apart right now, but the reason why is what's up for debate. So I think the rumors that they're broken up right now are technically true, but I don't think it's because of this. I think maybe someone found out that they're not together, and they wanted to find some way to make it seem hot and spicy, and this is what happened.
Yeah, they might have just been like, "Yo, we're like good friends, and we're gonna have a baby together," but this isn't what it is.
That's right. Yeah. So I don't know, but that's just your typical tabloid bullcrap.
Yeah, like we were saying earlier, sometimes they are true. Those kind of rumors, like G-Eazy cheated on. First, Lana Del Rey, I'm pretty sure he cheated on, and then he cheated on... I don't know if that one's as true or at least as publicized, but then he definitely cheated on Halsey, so... Sometimes the rumors are true, sometimes these guys be out there. Whatever, my funniest thing about this whole thing was all the memes that came out of Drake being all in his feelings when Rihanna got pregnant, and then him all, like, not in his feelings when they're gonna break up. Damn, those were funny.
And did you see Hoodville on Instagram posted like a screenshot of his like DMs, and it goes back like 4 years of him messaging
Rihanna,
like,
what you doing?
Yeah,
what you doing?
And
You
then
up?
the very last one, it's just like, you up? And it was like 2 days or 3 days ago.
Slide into Rihanna's DMs.
Shoot or shoot, man.
Yeah, I remember like even like a bear personality, Yukon Jack, always used to like rant about it. He'd be like, "Man, these kids like back in the day, you had to approach an attractive woman and talk to her."
Yeah, you can't just match on Tinder and then immediately send a picture of your freaking nether regions, because you can't just. Yeah, it's changed a lot.
Yeah, that's definitely not a good look.
I know if you're I know you're dating right now, but before that, were you on any of the apps like that?
Oh yeah, I've Tinder swindlered in my day.
You were out there in the.
I've swiped once or twice.
Dark arts.
I've been out there in these streets before. Yeah.
I haven't been on those things for a long time. I just felt very uncomfortable on them.
Yeah, it's been years, and it is super fucking awkward. It's super, super awkward every time. And like, to be honest, my girlfriend and I met on one of them. We met on Bumble, which a lot of people like. I don't even care. Whatever. Some people like hide that or whatever.
Bumble's
but
a little bit. It's not. I don't want to say safer, but it's a little bit more conducive to actually having decent.
Yeah, you're kind of like looking for something
That's
different.
right.
Yeah, apparently Hinge is even more. I was kind of like before Hinge, I got out of the game, but apparently Hinge is even more like their little slogans, like the dating app that's meant to be deleted or something. Like you're gonna find
so they're marketing on sleaziness.
No. Like the opposite. Like
they're saying
the dating app that's meant to get. Tinder would be the dating app you're not gonna delete because you're just looking for pussy all the time.
Yeah.
Hinge, you're actually gonna find like it's like a much more in-depth questionnaire, and they match you on like how you answer questions and shit. Blah blah blah.
Do you remember like 10, 15 years ago? It would have been probably a little bit before our time, but do you remember when they had it was the inception of all these dating things, and you actually had to get like we didn't have to, but it was on sitcoms and stuff. You get like a paper booklet. And you had to fill out your like personality test, and it'd be like a service, like an actual,
or even like speed dating, like the 40-year-old virgin.
Speed dating. Oh,
I kind of would have wished to do that just for fun. Yeah,
like that scene in the 40-year-old virgin.
Yeah,
my name's Gina. I've been with ladies, but I'm trying to make them move back to men.
Because there'd be like a group of girls there, the same thing that we're doing, like they're just to fuck around. But there would definitely be some people that are like serious, and it'd be tough to sit across the table from them. But
yeah, if the first question is where do you see yourself in 10 years, I'd just be like, bing. Next.
What are your goals and ambitions, Zach? What's your name? Sorry.
Yeah, what's your favorite color, actually?
What else we got going on in the world today?
I know, like I said earlier, I think that. And this is my knowledge of soccer, but I saw somewhere that Ronaldo got his 60th hat trick or something.
Yeah, 60th hat trick for a club or country. Yeah, so imagine that. In just those 60 games, he scored 90 goals. Like, that's pretty fucking crazy, right?
So, wait. So he scored 60 hat tricks in 90 games? Or wait.
No, because there's 3 goals per hat trick, right? So every single one of those 60 games, he scored 3 times.
Oh, I thought you... sorry, I heard that wrong.
Yeah.
In 60 games, every game he got the hat trick. But you mean like every game that he did... I get you.
Yeah, that's over his like... I don't even know how long Ronaldo's been playing. Played at United for 2 or 3 years, then 10 years in Madrid, 2 years. He's probably had like a 15, 17-year career. And... I think that's probably the most hat tricks of all time. I would imagine.
What would I type in? Because what league is that?
Soccer history, I would just say, because it's across all leagues.
What's your feelings on? Mario told me about this player, but everyone has a take on Maradona. What do you feel about him?
There you go. This is an old thing, but Ronaldo had 56 career hat tricks when this thing.
And now he's at 60.
53.
So
look at that gap, though. Ronaldo 56, Messi 53,
then
Luis
29.
Suarez 29.
That's almost at this point. That's double because he's got 60. I don't know how many more Luis Suarez has gotten, but look at Zlatan.
He probably hasn't gotten any in that time. Not that he's getting old.
Well, Ronaldo is what, 38 or something?
Oh no, Ronaldo is probably just as old, if not even slightly older than.
So he's just
Luis
doing
Suarez.
more with the same amount of time.
He's just LeBron James, man. He's a monster.
Is that what the
He's
equivalent is?
He's just a monster, yeah. Physically, just a fucking monster.
Is he big?
Allegedly, both of them spend $1 million annually on upkeeping their body.
Like nutritionists, private chefs, everything.
All the equipment, all the
Wow.
cryo or whatever, the cold baths, the hot saunas, the ice cold.
I read that Ronaldo pays his girlfriend like 600. This is like $600,000 a month. Like
I heard that too.
Like she gets that amount of money just to
like an allowance.
Yeah,
an allowance of $600,000 just to be with Ronaldo. Yeah. Yeah, Ronaldo's a crazy dude. He's got some like allegations in the States that we don't really need to get into, but apparently he can't go back to the States, which is kind of wild.
Really? For some below board stuff with fraternization type of stuff?
Fair
enough.
Rapido. Apparently, but I'm not sure. That being said, there's a lot of athletes that a lot of people have said that about, that it wasn't true. I'm not 100% sure.
80,000 euros a month.
Cristiano Ronaldo gives fiancée Georgina Rodriguez an 80,000 a month.
Oh, that's
80,000 pounds.
That's pounds, not euros. Yeah, I'm also a large idiot.
I mean,
that's a large amount of money.
She's pretty stacked up.
You'd be troubled to spend that.
The Portuguese superstar lives a lavish lifestyle. Private jets. I mean, yeah, if you're with Cristiano Ronaldo, do you even really need $800,000 a month or 80,000 pounds a month?
No, I was gonna say you'd be very challenged to spend that. Maybe she's doing some charity stuff with it. Who knows? Or she's just fucking stacking it in an account in case this goes south, and then she's got a huge freaking lump sum of cash.
Whole lot.
Yeah.
I mean, can't blame her. I know he was with Irina. I don't know, another supermodel. I can't remember her name, but they were together for a couple years, and then I think she was with Bradley Cooper after or something like that.
The Coop?
Yeah.
I don't mind him.
Nah, he's a good actor.
I liked him in, what's the movie about, he's that guy that's in the military and he's shooting long distances?
Shooter?
No, that's with Mark Wahlberg.
American
Sniper.
I just watched that movie for the first time.
It's pretty. The first little bit is pretty intense, eh?
Yeah, it's a little bit like propaganda-y as those movies
for sure.
always
But I just
are,
mean like the violence and stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty wild, and just like that guy was a wild dude. And then to get shot
at a gun range when he's trying to help somebody else with PTSD.
Yeah, and that guy just shoots him.
Crazy.
That shit's crazy, man. That's like I have family in the States, and my auntie actually has like a pretty crazy life story, but she was.
Go for it.
From what I understand, she like gallivanted around a little bit when she was younger, and then she met my uncle, who he's PRS of Paul Reed Smith Guitars. Like he's literally the guy that the company's named after, and the two of them started making guitars in their garage. And then they grew up and they had 3 kids together, and I don't really know the details, nor would I say them if I did, but things didn't work out. The 2 of them are still amicable, whatever, but they're no longer together. And then the guy that she got with after, her current husband, like I guess my new uncle, even though we're still cool with Paul, his name is Mike, and he's in like the CIA and shit, or the Secret Service or something. I don't know, man. He's like some sort of level of knowledge about these kind of things. And man, I can't remember where I was going with that. I just hit a pothole. I didn't even smoke the joint yet, and I hit a pothole. What were we just talking about?
We were talking about shit. I can't remember.
Oh, the snipers and all that shit and
PTSD.
Yeah, at my cousin's wedding, a bunch of his army buddies were there, and I think I might have been having a cigarette. I don't remember, but I was just sitting there talking to some of them, and one of them was telling me about how he got shot. And I was like, oh shit, like, you get shot in like Iraq or Afghanistan or something like that? This guy looks at me, he's like, fuck no. I got shot outside of 7-Eleven in Baltimore.
That's the place. Baltimore's the place to get shot.
I was like, what? And then he was like, yeah, man, I've been to war twice, and I didn't catch a bullet either time. He's like, I was filling up gas outside of 7-Eleven in Baltimore, and I caught one. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Damn, that's tough, man.
Man, we almost fucked up in Baltimore. We went, like, my brother is a firefighter, so he wants to always, like, check out fire halls at all these different places and get, like, patches and shit. And we walked. I think my dad's a big walker, so he had, a pedometer on him or whatever. And I think it died at us walking, like, 14 miles or 14 kilometers or some shit. I don't remember. But it was some stupid amount. I was so sore. But then at the wedding later, we were, like, describing which fire hall we went to and where we were, and, like, people were like, wait, pardon? Like, you got out of your vehicle? And we're like, what do you mean, man? It was, like, almost downtown. And they're like, yeah, like, we don't go to that part of Baltimore. And we didn't even know. Like, walked into McDonald's, ate and shit, and, like, we didn't even really realize it. But apparently we were in, like, a not so good neighborhood.
Really?
Man, my family picks like the weirdest places to go on vacation in the States, dude. Like my whole family vacation. I've been to Toronto a bunch of times because we got family out there, and then we've been to Vegas twice because my dad and my mom really like Vegas, which is weird because neither of them either. Like my dad never drinks. My mom will have like a glass of scotch or 2 glasses of wine and she's done, and neither of them gamble at all. But both of them thoroughly enjoy going to Vegas.
Maybe they just like the environment and they like to
Yeah,
be like the fly on the wall, but still be a
yeah,
part of it.
walking around,
Yeah.
going to the shows, the food, they like all that kind of stuff. But it's just a weird place. You think you could do that other places too. But we've been to like Detroit, Baltimore. Like
The next one, you guys are going to the DMZ.
yeah, well, yeah, I've been to the DMZ because of Baltimore. We went up to like DMZ's like District of Columbia, Maryland, Virginia, right? That's
I'm
what it
thinking I
means.
was talking about the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea.
Yeah, I know that'll be next.
And
right
the next one after
uh,
that's the Gaza Strip. And
Yeah,
then, yeah.
yeah, maybe somewhere in like Palestine or Israel, somewhere there. But yeah, they always pick really weird places to go to. I don't know. They like it sketchy, you know. We never went to just like California or New
Or
York.
Denny's or something. Just somewhere low key.
No, yeah, we always went to like really weird places. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it, but in Detroit, I remember it was really weird too. Like, we were walking around the mall. The Detroit trip was the summer of grade 6 to grade 7, and we were walking around the mall, and everything was peachy keen. There was families, and everybody was around. It was whatever. And we went into a store, and then we came back out, and it was like a ghost town. There was nobody in the mall anymore, and I was super confused.
Like something had just happened that you missed, like an incident, like potentially that's what you felt like. Like you went in, there was people that you went out. It's like
Yeah, my dad waited outside the store and he said that there was a like a message over the loudspeaker and it was like if you guys aren't accompanied by an adult, it's past 6 p.m. you have to leave or something to the equivalent to that.
Wow.
And it went from like a relatively crowded mall experience to like no one being there. It was super super strange.
Speaking of Detroit, I know this is a bit of a side swipe, but I read an article the other day that said apparently between 2016 and 2018, those dates could be wrong, I can look it up, but the city of Detroit overtaxed any homeowner by like I think it was like 60%, and it ended up being that the majority of the people that were overtaxed on their property taxes were African American people. So it's like kind of like a little bit of a scandal.
I believe it. I There's a lot of black people in Detroit, that's for fucking sure. Like I remember like clearly being like, damn, this is what it feels like to be a minority. Like I'm definitely the minority of the people in the minority of the people here, which is fine. It was cool. Nobody gave us a problem or anything like that. But that is fucked up, like systemic racism.
Yeah, that's literally the definition of it. It's built into the
Yeah.
system, and people are just going. Let's like it's grandfathered in.
Yeah,
You know what I
to
mean?
keep a certain people
Yep.
down. Yeah, that is fucked up. I think there's like a lot of places like that specific. Well, I was gonna say specifically in the States, but even in Canada, they just do it with like the Native American people as opposed to the African or even like brown Mexicans, whatever you want to call them in the States. Like, I don't know, man. Systemic racism is a fucked up thing. Not necessarily sure how to. I mean, just keep finding out the corrupt people and charging them.
The problem with that is
politicians and shit never get real jail sentences.
no, and the problem with that is most of these people, by the time they're found out, they've already taught the next generation, right? So those
Yeah.
people have already been, for lack of a better word, indoctrinated into like how to use the system to their advantage and not to other people's. So
Man,
maybe it's
I say this a lot about a lot of things, but like, have you ever seen the TV show The Wire?
one of my favorites of all time.
So like, if you look at Carcetti, so if anybody doesn't watch The Wire, is the super epic show from HBO in the early 2000s, and you should definitely watch it because it's amazing. Probably my favorite TV show of all time. Definitely pretty amazing. And one of the storylines is about this politician named I don't remember his first name, but his last name's Carcetti, and he starts off in probably season 3, and he doesn't really want to. You can see that he's trying to be like the White Knight. And then later in a couple episodes, you see him like cheating on his wife, getting a blowjob from his secretary or whomever it may be. Shout out Bill Clinton. Then later you just see that he's promised these people certain monies and certain funds and certain allocations and certain responsibilities. And then once you actually become the person who's in power, you're no longer running. You see that there isn't enough money to do that because if you do that, and then drug dealers are running wild in the streets of Baltimore and just selling drugs, and there's not enough money to go around, and it's like the tale of the white knight is really what it is, where like every white knight leaves the village with a suit of clean white armor, but by the time they go out there, they got to do some shit to get the result, and then they always come back with the stained armor on, and then like every hero is a villain in somebody else's story, you know what I mean? Like, if you're the white knight to Village A, but you had to go fuck up Village B, you're the villain in Village B's story. You're just this terrible person that came and fucked everything up.
Yeah, it goes by like that old saying, history or whatever, the story is always written by the victor, you know what I mean?
The victor, yeah.
So whoever gets there first to tell the stories, you know what I mean?
You know? My favorite additive... Adage,
yeah.
Sure, about that. It's like there's always like three sides to the truth, right? Like if me and you were sitting here and something happened today and we got into an argument and we're going to be talking to, Nico about it or whatever, and I tell him my side of the story and you tell him your side of the story. Neither of those are really the truth. The truth's in the middle. That's the third side to every story is the truth. There's person A, person B, and then what actually happened.
Yeah, my truth, your truth, and then what actually happened.
The real truth, yeah. Which is all good. I was at a function a little while ago, like a couple months ago actually, with some friends that a bunch of the people at the function didn't realize that I'd gone back with the homeowner to like a young kid. Like him and I had known each other since we were like 10 years old. And nothing actually happened. There was just like a little like kerfuffle, so to say, a small brouhaha. No punches thrown or anything, but like a little brouhaha. And then the one guy who started it completely tried to blame the other guy. But I'd been sitting in the corner of the room and literally watched the whole thing from start to beginning. And the one guy was like hammered, and he was trying to blame the other guy, who I actually knew I didn't know the guy who started it. And then I went up to the homeowner. I was like, hey man, like I'm not even just saying this because I know the person who he's blaming, but I'm like, hand to God, man, this is what happened. And it was nice to see that he believed me. He went and told the guy, like, hey, man, like, you're full of shit. And the guy's like, no. He's like, I got it on pretty good authority. You're full of shit. Like, you're hammered. Whomever just told me isn't. And I got pretty good authority that that's not what actually happened. But like I said, like to that hammered guy, that was the truth. You know what I mean? At that time, he probably truly did believe that he was in the right, but he definitely wasn't. But whatever, things happen.
Yeah, when you're that wasted, sometimes the truth doesn't even exist.
Yeah, it was time to go home.
That's right.
It's definitely time to go. Man, yesterday we went out for Nico's got. I call her the love of his life. Nico's got the love of his life in from the UK right now, his future wife, and we went out yesterday because she used to live in Edmonton for 2 years or something like that, but she hasn't been in Canada for 3, I think. I might be messing those numbers up. And one of her friends was at the bar with us. I don't even know her name, so it can remain nameless. But we were all at a bar, and then she went over and started hitting on 2 dudes, and the guys like started to give her the time of day, I guess, had a conversation with her. And then after like 5-10 minutes, we're like, hey, sorry, like I actually have a girlfriend, like I don't really mean, whatever. So she came back to sit with us, pissed right off. Fuck those guys, men are fucking scum. Fuck these guys, telling the bartender to get another drink and put it on their tab because they're fucking assholes and this and that. And I'm just sitting there thinking in my head, like, don't get me wrong, she was wasted and it was time to go home, so like nobody was like giving her any attitude about it or just letting her rant. But it's like, what did you want those guys to do? Like, those guys aren't allowed to talk to you because they have girlfriends. The moment you came up and talked to them, it was like, no, I have a girlfriend. Leave me. Like, they were trying to be nice, have a little conversation with you, and then they didn't let it get too far. Like, listen, lady, like, just me and my buddy out here having a drink. Like, we got girlfriends. Thanks. And then, like, she was cheesed, and she was like, fuck, man, men are the fucking worst. And I was like, well, how did you want them to... Was she
a white girl?
Oh, come on now.
But just making sure.
Come on now. Of course she was a white girl. Of course she was a white girl. And she was, like, saying that they were cheating on their girlfriends. And I was like, I didn't say anything to her, but I'm just thinking, like, how? How is that cheating on your girlfriend? Just
That's
have
the
a
reverse.
conversation.
And they made it aware. It's not like that one video. I don't know if you've ever seen it where this girl's sitting in her car and she's got a flat tire and this guy walks up and he's like, excuse me, ma'am. And before he can say anything, she's like, I have a boyfriend. And then he's like, okay, you got a flat tire. And she's like, oh, He's like, can you help me fix it? He's like, why don't you ask your fucking
Yeah,
boyfriend?
call your fucking boyfriend.
So at least
Yeah.
they gave her the 10, 15, 20 seconds of conversation of being...
Oh, no, she was sitting at their table for a solid, like, 5-10 minutes.
So at least they were friendly instead of just being like, get away.
That's what my girlfriend was saying. It's like, yo, like, at least they weren't just like, how would you have felt if they were just like, yo, don't even sit down, like, get the like, you would have felt like
Sounds like she would have been pissed either way.
100%. She left shortly thereafter. I think somebody called an Uber for her.
Damn.
But
And where was this? The brew house?
yeah, I was at the brew house.
Dang.
The Southside brew house.
Did you do any of those? What do they call them?
Dangles?
Dangles? Did you do any of those?
No. We did a shot of Jack because it was on special, but no dangles. We should have got some
What's your
dangles.
shot of choice if you are having, like, if you could choose?
To be honest, man, like, I used to drink a lot. Like, in my, like, mid-20s, I used to drink quite a bit and go out clubbing quite a bit. And it was whatever, whenever. Like, I was down to drink. I was down to shoot, whatever. And now I don't really drink too much. And if I do, it's almost exclusively, like, Captain Morgan spiced rum and ginger ale. Like, almost exclusively.
Something easy on the stomach.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of sugar,
Well,
but...
it's better than shots.
Yeah, but... I don't know. I don't mind doing a shot of tequila. Like, I don't want to just get drunk on doing shots of tequila anymore. Like, I used to get drunk on doing shots of tequila or shots of Hennessy or shots of vodka.
Shots of Hennessy?
Oh, fuck.
Gross. That's a sip and drank.
Yeah.
I guess if you only have the base model Hennessy, then you can shoot that. But
I don't
you start
even know
getting
which
into
ones.
XO and VSOP and stuff, I wouldn't shoot that. That's like $80 a bottle.
Yeah, we weren't really concerned about that at that time.
Fair
We were
enough.
drinking a lot of bottles.
Cavalier, free.
We were just... Yeah, that was a wild time. Shout out to Diesel. You ever hear about Diesel, the nightclub in Edmonton?
Yes, I heard Diesel Ultra Lounge, right?
Diesel
Was it
Ultra
across from Rexall?
Lounge, yeah.
Okay, so I've heard of it, but that was a little bit before my time. How old are you, Fred?
I'm 32.
Oh, okay, so then not that far ahead of me then.
Yeah, that place was a wild place, man. Like, I mean, I guess it's been closed for so long. I'm sure you could smoke cigarettes in there. You could smoke blunts in there, no problem. Like,
Dang.
one time I was just standing there smoking a cigarette, and some girl came up to me and she started like giving me shit. Like, that's so disgusting. Why don't you go outside? And I was like, honey, you're not even wrong. Like, you're right. But I'm not going outside. And then she was like, oh, I was like, man, go tell the security. I don't give a fuck. Like, I knew all the security guards. I knew a couple people that worked there and blah, blah, blah. One time I was literally standing at the bar rolling a blunt, and you know, you like just like feel eyes on you. I kind of like, there's this big, massive security guard standing there, and I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, don't worry about it, bro. Like, I'm going to go smoke it in the smoke pit. You're telling the bouncer you're going to go smoke it in the smoke pit.
While you're already smoking.
Well, not that night. I was just rolling one up, and he's like, no, I was just coming to see what you were doing. You're going to smoke that shit right here. Like, he told me not to go outside.
It's
and to
cold out,
smoke it
bro. Might as
inside.
well stay inside.
Yeah, that was cool. That place will never exist again, man. Just drinking bottles and smoking and...
Did you ever go to... I'm trying to think of more dingy bars. Did you ever go to Oil City? That place was kind of a skeezy hole, too. It was fun for the most part.
I've probably been to a lot of them. I used to bar pretty hard, man.
Did
There
you?
was days where I'd bar 7 days a week and shit. It was bad.
Damn. That's the perfect week to some people.
Yeah. I used to have it memorized, too. It was like... a lot of the places were repeats of the same skeezy places because I was friends with the staff. But it'd be like Tuesday or Sunday at Flow. Monday was industry night at Hudson's. Tuesday was back at Flow. No, Tuesday, sorry, was Toonie Tuesday at the Rack. Wednesday was, I don't remember. Friday and Saturday were both Diesel. So Wednesday and Thursdays, I can't remember, but we had a place for literally every day of the week. Squires, I think Wednesday or Thursdays
Squires was fun.
back in the day.
It's shut down now.
Yeah, in the basement there, Squires was a great time.
That was cool. They had cheap chicken wings, cheap beer, and they had a couple
I
games.
never ate there. I just got the beers. They had Toonie beers one
Yep.
day too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would just do that.
That's Pierre?
That's Pierre, yeah.
Yeah.
Pierre asking me how we're going in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Shout out Pierre.
Shout out Royale.
Royale. The Royale with cheese.
Yeah.
I
I just pulled up some hilarious ones here, but
what is this?
oh, we were just talking about adages, so I just put up funny proverb adages.
If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much. Oh, these are like cheesy t-shirt
Yeah,
quotes. You're taking up too much room. The problem with the gene pool is there's no lifeguard.
I'm gonna say that to Francesco one day. These are all things you could say on the paving crew, and people would laugh and be like, "Where'd you hear that?"
If you can smile when things go wrong, you already have someone to blame. I used to work at a golf course for 2 summers, and there was this guy named Brent who worked there, and man, that guy had some good, what are they called?
Adages, proverbs.
Adages, proverbs. Like every time we were working together, I remember one time we just had to like use like a tiger torch
Yeah,
and
with propane.
tack or whatever,
Yeah.
and just like fix part of the cart path. And it was him, myself, and another worker there, this guy named Nolan, and we were working together, and then he was just like, well, Fred, what do you think? Good enough for the girls we date? And I was like, yeah, buddy, for sure. And then his wife was like the horticulturalist at the golf course, so like we all knew his wife. And the Nolan guy's like, wait, doesn't your wife work here? And he's like, yeah, and that would be good enough for her. Like, and then another time, I was dating not my current girlfriend. This was 10 years ago or whatever, but I was dating another girl at the time. And there was this one day, and I mean, whatever, boys will be boys. There was this blonde girl, and she had just hit a putt, and she was wearing a very small golf skirt. And it was, again, the same three of us, Brent, Nolan, and myself, and we were all just kind of looking over at her, and, you know, she grabbed her ball from the hole or whatever, and I guess, you know, we were all just gazing like a bunch of men. And the Nolan guy's like, wait a minute, aren't you married and don't you have like a girlfriend? And before I could even say anything, Brent's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Just because I'm reading the menu doesn't mean I'm going to place an order. I'm just reading the menu, brother.
There's always an older guy on every crew that just has like that quick little.
Man, he always had little things like that. I don't know if it's true or not, and I don't even know if whatever. We get fucking 100 viewers anyway. He was a teacher at his full-time job, not in the summer, and he said when he caught kids smoking weed, he wouldn't like report them. He would just take the weed from them, and then when they graduated at grad, he'd give it back to them.
What? So you're like he's like saving it for you? Like it's an investment?
Like, bro, if that's true, you're the coolest fucking teacher ever. He's
cool.
like, yeah, man, like I kept like he's like most of the time I would just act like I didn't see anything. He's like, you'd have to make it blatantly fucking obvious. Where like I'm not even doing my job at this point if I don't do something about this. And then he's like, yeah, I would just take it, and then at like grad, I'd just walk up to them and be like, hey man, here, and just like hand it back to them. I was like,
I feel
dude,
like that could be misconstrued if the wrong person saw that. Just a teacher giving
just
a kid.
peddling
They don't
dope.
know the backstory of it, even though that still doesn't make it right. But that's hilarious.
No. That's actually cool as fuck, though. It's always cool to have teachers that are keep it on the low, though.
If you want to hear a quick little funny story about A, cool teachers, and B, getting caught with marijuana, my dad.
Shout out, Dave.
Shout out.
He's taught me before.
That's
he probably
right.
could have caught me with marijuana once or twice.
I was in grade 12 and I had just bought my first car. It was a 94 Ford Tempo Coupe. It was the sport model, okay? And I had bought some weed from a kid at school. It was like 2 grams. I thought it was hot shit. One of the first times I ever smoked weed, and we're sitting in my car, and we had run out of the weed because he was there for the weekend, and we were trying to smoke stems, but we also didn't have a lighter, nor did we have a bowl. So we had a pop can, and we were using matches and trying to smoke the remaining stems that we had left.
Classic.
So it's like 11 o'clock at night. The car's pointed the wrong way, so my dad could just look out the window and see every 5 seconds a light from the match lighting. And he also heard me rummaging in the junk drawer for a lighter like 4 times too. So he put 2 and 2 together, looks out the window, sees a match being lit every 5-10 seconds, comes out. We still don't notice him. There's a little bit of smoke in the car from whatever we could get out of the stems. And he just knocks on the window. He's like, and I'm just like, look over. I'm like, oh, it's my dad. And my buddy was just fucking terrified, scared. So he's like, guys, I think it's enough. Go to bed. Wake up the next morning. My dad was kind of an authoritarian for part of my younger childhood, and just this time I thought I was gonna get reamed out, and he just laughed at me and said, "Stems, dude, come on."
You had already been punished.
He's like, "Stems, man, come on." So yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah, I remember I had a friend in high school. Whatever, fuck it, I don't even think his name is Steve. Me and him were really good friends in high school. And one day I told him, like, I saw he had like a little Altoid case or something, and it was just full of stem. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? And he was like, oh man, you don't save your stems? And I was like, no, I don't fucking save the stems. I was like, anything, I might chew on it for a couple minutes just for something to do and spit it out. And he's like, oh man, like, and I was like, I've heard some people make tea out of weed stems, but I was like, I don't even think that really gets you high. And then I don't think that he thought I would remember, but like 2 weeks later, they're both broke, and we didn't have any weed, anything, and we're just sitting in his car, and he brings out his little Altoid case, and he breaks up a bunch of stems and puts them in his bowl and takes a hoot, and he's like, "Hey man, you want a hoot of this?" And I was like, "Fuck no, dude! Like I'm not trying to get a headache. Fuck that." And then he hits it once or twice, and he's like, "Man, whoever says stems don't get you high is a fucking idiot." And I'll never forget this. I'm sitting in his passenger seat, and I was like, "Bruh, I'm the one who told you steps don't get you high. Like, you just called me a fucking idiot." Me and him had some good times, though. In grade 10 or 11, he'd always have a water bottle with him. Always. Like, even before the whole workout, like, fuck, I graduated in 07. So when back in 05, like, this motherfucker would always have a water bottle with him. And, it was before, like I said before we started recording, I went to a really small high school. There was 100 kids in my whole high school, and we would have like one dance, quote unquote, and it was even a stretch to call it that, every year. And him and I, the one year, went. The school we went to is right next to the river valley in Edmonton. So him and I went down into the river valley, and our principal saw us go, and like this guy's like the fucking rendition of I'll tell you after the podcast, and like right here you'll bring up a picture of David Eifert, and then right here you'll bring up a picture of Ned Flanders, and they're like they're the fucking same dude. um yeah, he was like Ned Flanders in the flesh, man. It's funny. But he comes and he follows us into the river valley, and I think, if I remember correctly, I think Steve and I were gonna go smoke like a little piece of joint or something. But we weren't gonna drink. I remember we weren't drinking. And the Dave is his name, Dave Eifert. He like comes down the stairs and he's all like, bravado, like getting ready to like catch us and shit. He's like, "What are you guys doing down here?" And we're like, "Nothing." Just like making up bullshit. Like, "Oh, I'm going through something or whatever. I wanted to talk to my buddy about it, blah, 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 blah." And he's like, "Are you guys sure you're not drinking?" And we were like, "Yeah." And then he grabbed Steve's water bottle, and he actually like tried to smell it. Couldn't smell anything. And then he took a little swig out of it. And it was just straight up water. And I remember Steve being like, I was like kind of tripping because I didn't know if it was vodka or not. I was like, "Oh, fuck." And I remember Steve just being like, I looked over at him. He was so confident. I was like, "Oh, okay, we're good." And then, yeah, it was water, and he tried to bust our balls and shit. It's kind of a pointless story. It was just funny that he thought we had vodka.
Do you think he was trying to catch a quick buzz? Like he's like, "Oh God, I hope these kids actually have liquor."
No,
just bombs the water in front of you, and then gets really disappointed when it's water.
Not him, man. Not him. At my high school, they would go on like my brother. I have an older brother, and he went to the same high school, and they would go on mission trips every other year. And they went on a mission trip to Mexico. And I'll never forget my brother telling me that they landed in like San Diego, I think it is, whichever one's just on the north side of the border, and then like Tijuana's on the south side of the border. I think it's San Diego. I don't remember though. But they landed at the airport, and my brother told me for like the 3 hour drive from wherever they landed in the States to wherever they were going in Mexico, like Tijuana, he's like, he's never seen somebody like drive like this. And he's like, he would be at 10 and 2 the whole time. And he said the most he would ever do was go and grip the wheel again. Like, this guy is Ned Flanders incarnate, man. It's crazy. When I was in the 12th grade, like, I have a cousin who's, she was born in 82, so she's like 7 years older than me. All three of my female cousins and then me and my brother are all like very close, and we all went to the same high school. And my grandma died when I was in the 12th grade, and like, my cousin knows I was like not super religious and not really about like specifically this teacher. And she actually like took me from, it must have been the hospital or wherever it was, to school, and she was just there talking to me or whatever. And the principal came up and he like tried to like rub my shoulders a little bit and tried to like console me and shit. And I just remember looking at her and her looking at him and just being like, "Oh no." Like, she thought I was gonna go off on him, I think. I just told him not to touch me. He didn't know me like that. That's how lippy I was when I was a little kid. I was like, "Dude, you don't know me like that. Please don't touch me." But yeah, shout out to Catherine. I know she's listening.
Everybody is. So yeah.
Yeah, her and her whole family actually. They showed our podcast to like my. Remember I told you back in
Your
the
cousin.
like, my cousin that did the bottle drive. Their kid was like the one who like organized it. Shout out Benjamin. He thinks we're YouTube stars. we're definitely not.
No.
But shout out to Benjamin. He's actually a super smart kid. Not just saying that because I might be listening, but he's actually a really good kid. But they listen, so I was like, hopefully I wasn't cussing and smoking and talking about transgendered people or something at the time. But she just
My
laughed.
mom listens to it and she just thinks it's funny.
There you go.
So I don't think we got anything really to worry about.
I don't think my mom's listened yet. I'm not sure she wants to really.
I think my mom is just trying to be supportive, but I think it'll wane off as we go on.
You got a would you rather for me there, Zachary?
Oh yeah. Let me see here. Okay, no, I don't really have a would you rather per se, but I do have a couple hypotheticals I'd like to run by you.
Perfect. Rifle them off. I'll try and make them as like quick fire as I can.
You can, or you could put some thought into them if you want. But if you want to do rapid fire and then revisit them after with some thought, that could be okay. Here's the first one. How many coyotes could you take at one time?
3.
3? Okay. How many 5-year-olds could you take at one time? Gender, it doesn't matter what gender they are. It's a mix.
50.
50? Yeah. Okay.
At least 50. Probably, maybe even like we're like fighting to the death here, right? Like no holds barred.
No, you're
I'm
just
being
trying
a
to
savage.
incapacitate them. You're not trying to actually kill them.
But I mean, like I'm fighting like I'm gonna die.
That's
like,
right.
I'm
Yes.
not, I'm
You're
not
fighting
holding
for your
anything
life,
back.
but not for theirs.
Like they're small, man. I'd be kicking them in the fucking face and shit, dude. Like I'd be going so savage.
And if you strategize that correctly, you could kick one into another and potentially have like some combos.
Yeah.
Take 2 or 3 out at one time, or pick one up by the legs and start windmilling him.
The real question when it comes to that is like, how many would it take for them to like incapacitate you? Like,
That's
how many
right.
would have to grab your limbs and shit so that you couldn't move anymore? If like 4 or 5 got a hold of you, it'd start to weigh you down quite a bit.
What's that children's story, Gulliver's Travels, where all those little men put the arrows and the things over that one? So eventually you're gonna get overtaken. So then that's a better question. How many would you be able to fight before you were overtaken?
Then cardio really. Like the first 10, they're getting fucking rocked.
Those kids probably will have permanent issues later on in life.
Rocked. They're getting destroyed. And like everyone, like of course you're gonna think of that scene from like Step Brothers, right, where they're beating up all those kids. But like you said, you could like, I mean, if they're surrounding you, they're trying to jump on your back. You would just have to keep moving so that they couldn't really get a hold of you.
But the thing is those kids can go forever. Their energy is endless, right?
Endless.
So eventually
Your cardio, that's what I said, your cardio is going to catch up.
That's right.
I genuinely think if it was me in like a field against 55-year-olds, I would win.
Oh, for sure you would.
Yeah.
I think 75 wouldn't even be pushing it. Because you got to think these
That's
kids
a lot of minutes of fighting,
how scared
dude.
kids get. And also kids are dumb.
That's also true. They just run right at you and just let you kick them right in the face.
And then maybe
like I'd be literally Sparta kicking them right in the face.
I would do. Remember the scene in The Waterboy where Adam Sandler gives the football to the guy just so we can score a touchdown, and then he runs after him and double kicks him.
Double drop kicks him. Yeah,
I would do that opening move. And
only problem with a drop kick like that's you're on the ground. You'd have to get back up quick.
You might, and you know what? You might install some fear into some of them. A couple of stragglers might just be like, "That's not for me." Yeah. They might just wander off and go start picking dandelions and shit like 5-year-olds do. Because like I said before, kids are dumb.
That's true. All right, what's the next one? I didn't really rapid fire that, but what's the next one?
How many people do you think, let's say 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, probably around our size individuals, how many people do you think would it take to kill a mature grizzly bear? No weapons.
Oh, fuck.
Or do you think there is a number that could?
There is definitely a number that could.
But what damage are you gonna do with your fist?
No weapons, like you can't even pick up anything. Like you can't even pick up like rocks and sticks, like shit you would find in a forest.
Natural weapons, but no man-made weapons.
Yeah. That's tough.
Imagine some dude just trying to beat this grizzly with a tuna.
No, because if you could fucking get in the head of the big enough rock, that would be pretty. I would imagine it would fuck up a bear.
Though I don't think one's gonna do it. That bear is gonna tear through some people fast,
quick.
So you're gonna need some cannon fodder to just, like some people just to eat up some of that energy.
But then like the whole like method of the 5-year-olds we just discussed, like what's the amount of people that have to jump on a bear to slow a bear down?
That's what I'm saying.
Like fuck
so
that.
That also potentially could mean that maybe humans with only rocks and sticks couldn't kill a bear. Because think of those claws, man.
It would take the bear getting tired.
That's exactly right.
Which, how long does it take for a bear to fucking get tired when it's on savage mode?
Dude, polar bears are like 800-900 pounds, dude, and they're just lean, sinewy muscle. Those things, it catches you anywhere with the tip of that claw, and it is lacerating you.
So the real question is, would it take more 5-year-olds to fuck up a 6 foot, 200-pound man, or more 6 feet, 200-pound men to fuck up a grizzly bear?
That's a great question. I'm gonna say it's gonna take more men,
100%,
to fuck up a grizzly bear than it would take children.
Weapons included.
Yeah.
Because I would just boot fuck one of those kids. Like, let's be honest, if a 5-year-old kid hit you with a baseball bat, you could take it.
That's what I was just going to ask.
So I would just take one hit from a fucking baseball bat kid and dummy him, pick up that bat, and start teeing off.
So then if we are allowed to use natural weapons against the bear, does that mean that the 5-year-olds are allowed to use natural weapons against us? Like, imagine they start throwing
give them
bombs.
anything except a knife or a gun, and I still like my chances. A knife, because eventually you're just going to get stabbed so many times in the back and all that. You're just not going to see it coming.
I guess 5-year-olds can swing pretty hard.
For sure, they could stab you. Sharp enough knife, they could stab you. A little ice pick or something, or like a sharp knife, they could stab you.
5-year-old size katanas just swinging, that changes the game.
Yeah, if it wasn't, and then a gun, clearly you're going to get shot.
No, you can't have
guns don't work. But if there was like 75, because like I said, you could take, unless it was to the head, which they're short, so like I could probably brace it with my arm. I would take the one baseball bat to just fucking rock that kid, pick up that bat, and just go to town. But I don't know what the equivalent, how many men with knives for a grizzly bear? Like if you threw a knife, like if you threw a bunch of machetes or something in there, it changes up the whole game.
Like if you had like a Rambo buck knife, like an 8-inch blade.
Like a straight hunting knife?
Yeah, but if you have machetes, that's just...
all bets are off.
That's almost
OP. You damn near chop a limb.
Yeah, you get 6 guys and you're chopping at the right spots, you're going to take that bear down. It might take one of you, 2 of you out. Some might be critically injured, but I'm willing to take that risk as long as it's not me, the one that's critically injured.
You just got to not be the slowest person.
Yeah.
What's next? But sorry, I think it would take a lot of men with no weapons. I think it would take more men with no weapons than it would take kids to fuck up an adult. That's for fucking sure.
But
bears are pretty crazy.
What if you get those kids from like Billy Madison, the O'Doyle family, like those 5-year-olds that are still
fuck like O'Doyle. O'Doyles don't rule. Fuck those guys. What did he say? I wish I see bad things coming to you and your family.
And then they drive off a cliff because they drive over
a banana peel. Would you rather? That was actually a pretty crazy movie. John Paul Tremblay from Trailer Park Boys is actually in that movie. Yeah.
J-Rock?
No, that's Jonathan Torrens. Oh. John Paul Tremblay is.
I've actually never seen an episode of Trailer Park Boys. Believe it or not.
Pardon?
I'm serious, man. I was just never really exposed to it. It never came into my life organically. Because I didn't have the channel on TV. We had Peasant View because I lived on an acreage. And I didn't buy the DVDs, and it just kind of missed me. Like, Game of Thrones also missed me.
Fuck Game of Thrones. I've never seen Game of Thrones, but Trailer Park Boys?
It just missed me, man. I missed it.
So you don't even know, know what I'm saying?
I know.
You don't know the hash driveway?
I know, people...
You know the parts that have permeated or whatever pop culture?
Like Shitter Pillars or Worst Case Ontario. I know those ones.
Yeah.
Or Right Arm.
Dressed all over. Jalapeno chips dressed all over. Shit like that.
That's fun. I know who Ricky... I could point out who Ricky, Julian Bubbles are and Mr. Leahy and stuff, but I've never sat down and watched the complete episode from beginning to end.
Okay, in between this week's... Well, I'm not even here next week. I'm not here next week. You guys will be stuck with Pierre and or Nico, or maybe just Pierre. I'm not even sure.
Nico's driving back. It's going to be Pierre, and Pierre said he has a guest lined up. So.
All right, well, you guys are Fredless next week.
Yeah. The Fredless
between here and the next time I'm on this podcast, you have to watch.
What's it on? What streaming platform?
Netflix.
Okay,
it's on. It's the whole thing's on Netflix, and they have movies and spin-offs and all this other shit. Would you rather be stuck on a broken ski lift or in a broken elevator?
For sure, the ski lift. 1,000%.
I agree. I feel like my chance of survival are dramatically increased.
Dude, I feel like I could jump off a ski lift.
100%. I've seen people jump off ski lifts.
I'm guessing it's on a ski hill, so we're guessing there's an incline that's already naturally
And
there.
we're assuming it's in the wintertime.
True as well. Otherwise, why would you be on a ski lift?
They use them in the summer to go to like the lookout points and shit.
But don't
sometimes.
they usually have people in aren't those encased like a gondola?
A lot of the time, or they take them for like mountain biking.
Oh yeah, true enough. Either way, I'm guessing that there's some way that you could tuck and roll to limit your injuries. Whereas an elevator, if you're even 4 or 5 stories in the air and that thing plummets, that's a glass case of metal that's...
Look, 2 stories in the air, you're looking at a fucking world of hurt.
I wonder how they're designed. I wonder if they're designed to like be like a big roll cage, like crumple around the people, or if they just disintegrate on impact. Because either way, you're getting fucked up.
Bro, imagine the impact on your knees and your back and shit. Like, all that dumb shit, like you're going to try and jump right at the right moment and avoid impact. Like, I don't know if that's actually going to work.
Look that up. I saw a picture, and it said you shouldn't actually jump. You should be laying on the ground, on your back, is what it said. And I'm going to try to pull it up.
Wait, what? Wouldn't that be like all of the impact right on your back? Like if you just fell from 4 stories straight onto your back?
I might have. See, look. Science says that the best chance you have to is to lay directly on your back the moment you feel the elevator falling. As you lay on your back, cover your face using your arm to protect it against any debris or falling materials that might land on you during the impact. It doesn't say why though. Let's try to find why. But that is very counterintuitive, eh?
So, is there any way for you to survive a falling elevator? Science says the best chance you have is to lay directly on your back the moment you feel the elevator falling, everything that you just said. When you're laying in this position, the impact of your fall isn't concentrated on just one part of your body. Instead, the impact is spread throughout, making the impact a bit less deadly, I suppose. When you lay on your back, this also helps to prevent your bones from crushing. When impact occurs parallel to force, your bones are much more likely to crush and break bones. When you lay down flat, the impact is orientated to line up with your spine. This can prevent serious permanent damage. How'd that ad pop up without you even scrolling? Like it knew where I was reading.
Not even a way to
How crazy is that? It's like knew that I read that part of the... You didn't even scroll.
And I ain't even on freaking Google. This is Bing. So imagine what Google can do.
That was so crazy. I mean, we didn't record that, so no one will really know what we're talking about. But as soon as I got to the last word that was on the screen, an ad popped up. Zach didn't scroll or anything.
And now I can't exit out of the ad to see the rest of the article. There's no...
That was crazy. They're listening.
The AI, man.
They're listening. Well, yeah, that's actually pretty crazy. But I still think I would take the ski lift.
Oh, yeah.
I have seen the video of the one that, like, started going super, super, super fast. Have you seen that?
Pardon me, what?
The ski lift that it broke and it started going super fast and was just launching people off on the one side, just launching you.
Like fun launching or bad launching?
Bad launching. And I'm sure people were getting all sorts of broken bones and fucked up, but I would take that still. Let's do another one here.
I like this one. Would you feel worse if no one showed up to your wedding or to your funeral?
Fuck. Would you be less popular? I don't know, man.
I feel like funeral would be worse. Wedding, because people get married in the fucking city hall and no one's there except the people, right? But I feel like if no one shows up to your funeral, that says a lot more than if no one shows up to whatever you call your wedding.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming that the question like has the parameters that you have like a proper wedding.
Fair enough.
Or else like you made the decision for no one else to be there, really.
I guess then yeah, that takes out the hypothetical part. Well, shit, then I don't know.
I don't know, man. That's like, would you rather people not like you when you were alive or people not like you when you were dead? Like, I don't know. It's kind of fucked up either way. I guess if there was... A lot of people would say that, like, if you're the last one of your friends to survive, you'd probably have less people at your funeral. You know what I mean? Like, you'd probably still have your younger family members and stuff like that, you would hope. But a lot of your friends had already passed away, which is already kind of sad because then you probably attended all of their funerals, which kind of sucks. But I don't know, man. I don't think I'd really be the person to have... My mom even told this to me like a month or two ago. She's like, yeah, I could see you having like a not very big wedding. Like, I'll have like my people there for sure. Like my family members they know they'd be there and all my friends know that they would be there. But I don't need to be one of those people where it's like... If I haven't talked to you in the last little while, it's nothing personal. If I see you at a thing, I'll be cool with you. But
Yeah,
I
because
don't
you
need
got to
you.
pay for people to be at your wedding. Basically, you have to.
100%.
So it's like, why invite people that aren't really a main cog in your life, right? Because you're basically paying people to be there, the food, the venue, and everything. So why make that a huge pool?
Isn't that a weird thing, man? That you're like
Mm-hmm.
literally spending so much money for those people to come celebrate something with you?
But that's why they got to come drop that cash envelope, bruh.
Yeah.
You got to do that, or at least get a nice thing off the wedding registry.
The registry.
I always
yeah.
drop cash so they can go spend money on the honeymoon and go on a
Yeah.
nice trip.
Most people like cash.
Yeah.
Because the fucking wedding's been so goddamn expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I see this one. Would you rather be Batman or Superman or Spider-Man? I thought it was Superman. Would you rather be Batman or Spider-Man?
Are we talking just general Batman or general Spider-Man as a whole, or a specific one in the lineage of all of?
Well, it's or would you rather? All right, I'll pick. Let's do. What's his name? Christian Bale.
Yeah,
Let's do
one
the
who
Christian
did the
Bale
Dark Knight.
Batman.
Okay.
The Dark Knight Batman.
Pretty good Batman.
Or Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Oh, that's a very good Spider-Man. Those are both the top of their classes.
Those are the top two, yeah, for sure.
Although Val Kilmer as Batman was pretty fucking funny too.
I don't even really remember that.
Batman
Was he
Forever?
the one with Batman Forever
with the Riddler and
Sub-Zero?
No, that's Batman Returns, I think.
Oh,
or maybe
okay.
I'm mixing them up. But
I don't remember the one that you're talking about though.
With the
young
Riddler,
one
Jim
that I
Carrey?
remember is the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah,
and
I think that's Batman Forever.
I can't remember who the Poison Ivy is. Who is it though?
I can't.
It looks like Uma Thurman or something.
Is that? Yeah. I don't, oh, it is Uma Thurman.
Is it?
I think
yeah.
so. But okay, so Tom Holland. I guess I got to think of the universes they live in. The Marvel one, like Tom Holland's Spider Universe, is pretty fucked up. He just had. Have you seen the latest one?
No.
Oh, okay,
I still have to see it.
I
Yeah,
won't
don't
say
ruin it,
anything.
please.
But
Doctor Strange super involved in it. I fuck with Doctor Strange. I thought that movie was so cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I thought the first one was so cool.
I think you'll be very happy with what you go see. It's a long movie.
I should rent it today, actually,
why
when I
not?
get home
It's
from my
great.
Easter thing.
It's
so I should
about
rent
3 hours long.
Damn.
But it's very good. It's action packed. You'll like it. I think. Anyways, I would choose Tom Holland Spider-Man because The Dark Knight Rises is just the Gotham portrayed in those movies is so gosh darn dark.
I mean, we're from Edmonton, so I feel like if there was a Gotham in Canada, it'd be Edmonton. Maybe
think
Winnipeg.
it's like the crime? Yeah, I guess.
No, because Toronto would be
Hell's Kitchen.
Metropolis, right? Where Superman be at, that'd be Toronto.
Superman. Sorry to say this, but Superman sucks. He's the worst superhero. He's
Superman's dope.
He's boring, man.
I get it. There's like no weaknesses and blah blah blah, and they had to like kind of try and make up weaknesses with kryptonite and then magic and shit they tried to add later. Blah 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 blah.
I never was a Superman guy. My niece loves Spider-Man. I like Batman, but I would choose Tom Holland's Spider-Man over Christian Bale's Batman.
You get to be with Zendaya.
That's
Ayo.
right. I don't think I didn't factor that in.
Oh, I know you did. Dirty dog, you. Just kidding. I think I'd have to pick Spider-Man because at the end of the day, you take everything away from us. You know, let's just say I'm Spider-Man and you're Batman. At the end of the day, they take everything away from us. Like, you're just a guy that's really well trained in martial arts and has a bunch of money, but your money's not really gonna help you.
And you got that.
I still got fucking superpowers. So I got spider senses. I got the healing shit. I got the super strength.
But you have to make your own webs. Remember?
Yeah, I don't even need webs. They were in a room to fuck each other up. Like, I could fucking stick to the walls. I could jump to the roof. I could jump around.
That's true.
You're pretty much just like a really, 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 really well-trained MMA fighter, which is cool. But
like
I got literally super strength.
Do you remember the one of the greatest fighting matches of all time was featured in the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire? It was the Human Spider versus Bonesaw.
No.
You don't remember that? It was Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah.
When
he was
Bonesaw.
Right before his, like, and he bumps the guy that kills his uncle on the way out or whatever.
He's the human spider.
Yeah, the human spider.
Yeah, anyways.
Let's do one more.
Sure.
Scroll down.
I got you.
All right, let's do number 24. Fuck it. Would you rather go deep sea diving or bungee jumping?
Bungee jumping. Deep sea diving would be a lot cooler in the big scheme of things, but I don't like the idea of being trapped under somewhere and having to rely on something else to breathe. and also the creatures that are down there.
Would you rather go bungee jumping or skydiving?
I guess that depends because I am scared of heights, but I do like roller coasters. I like the adrenaline that comes with it. But I think that if I were to go skydiving, once I'm in the air, I think I'd be fine. But I think I'd have to be forcefully removed from the plane. Like I don't think
you kind of need the guy you're strapped to kind of like.
That's right. I don't think my legs would really work.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like,
but I think I would like to do it.
I know a few people who have done it, and I've definitely thought about doing it. And then like,
it's expensive.
My cousin, who I'm like super, super close with, my cousin Margaret, she's just 6 weeks younger than me. She's done it, which is kind of crazy because she's always like, she's like a really good girl. Like, and then I was out there. Like, I was not, we're the same age, and one of us was doing really well, and the other one wasn't.
Two different avenues.
Yeah, exactly. And, it was crazy when she told me that she jumped out of a fucking airplane. I was like, what? Like, what are you telling? You jumped out of a fucking airplane?
It's cool when people surprise you like that, eh?
Yeah, it was crazy. But I'm not like, man, I have like a reoccurring nightmare almost, dream. I don't know if you want to call it a nightmare, where I'm like falling and like I hit the ground and I wake up. So I don't know. I feel like if I ever did go skydiving, it'd actually be like overcoming like a pretty, I don't want to call it a fear.
It'd be like a cathartic experience.
Yeah, it'd be like overcoming something like, I don't know, somewhere deep in my mind. Like, I almost feel like that's how I'm going to die. Like, I've literally had that thought before that like falling into my death is going to, because I've had that dream like so many times, dude. And it's not even like I hit the ground like the same thing every time. I've hit pavement. I've hit like places I recognize. I've hit places where I have no idea where they are. I've hit bodies of water. I've hit trees.
What do you think the best landing spot would be to optimize your chances of survival if you were falling from, let's say, 200 feet? Like, and we're talking pavement, grass, water, not water, but you know what I mean?
Well, water at a certain point is going to feel like concrete, but clearly you still
wrong,
break.
Water goes up your, people get, and that's not even a joke. People get effed up from that, from cliff diving, and they go in there at the wrong angle, and water gets injected quickly into their anus. I'm serious, and
they just get enema.
Their insides, but it's at a very high pressure, and their insides get effed up.
That's actually pretty crazy. You could Google it. I think a woman survived falling out of a plane because she hit the side of like a tree that had snow on it, and it had a bunch of branches, and she like the branches broke her fall, and then as the tree got wider, it kind of pushed her out to the side, and then there was snow, and she like shot out the side of the. Yeah, I think it was that lady. That stewardess. I don't know, the black and white picture.
Vesna Volovich?
Yeah, click on that. I think that might be the picture. Yeah, with Volovich. So, hold on. Air safety investigators attributed Volovich's survival to her being trapped by a food cart on the DC-9's fuselage. As it broke away from the rest of the aircraft and plummeted towards the ground, when the cabin depressurized, the passengers and the other flight crew were blown out of the aircraft and fell to their death. Investigators believe that the fuselage with Volovich pinned inside landed... Oh, okay, so she was still in the plane. Landed in a heavily wooded and snow-covered mountainside, which cushioned the impact. That could be it, but I swear there was another woman that
I don't like flying. Do you like flying?
I don't mind. It's kind of sketchy, you know what I mean? But
not a big fan.
Yeah, click that one. A woman survived after plunge more than 5,000 feet after her parachute failed. 30-year-old woman is recovering after falling more than 5,000 feet from a plane. The woman, whose name was not released, was skydiving near Quebec when her main and backup parachutes both failed to open. She plummeted into a wooded area, and she is hospitalized with 7 fractures, including broken vertebrae. The police said that her life isn't in danger. It's a miracle that she survived. And yeah, yet again, you see, she fell into a wooded area. I'm telling you, man, something about, like, I think the trees, like, slightly help break your fall and, like, kind of slow you down. Like, you're still going to get fucked up, but...
You probably have thousands of slivers after that. Can you imagine?
Oh.
And that's just one dude's job in the hospital when you're passed out. They got to go through with tweezers and pick all your splinters out.
Hey, man, you're alive.
That's true.
At the end of the day, you're alive.
Yeah. But yeah.
Nope. Nico's problem solved. Got his car fixed. That's good.
Yeah, spark plugs, man.
Spark plugs. Do you have a weird fact for me, by any chance?
I do not have one today.
You know what's a weird fact and something that I know that you kind of like? Pull up the NBA playoff picture. The fucking Lakers didn't even make the goddamn
No,
play-in.
of course. No, they
What a
didn't even
bunch
make the
of
playoff.
fucking bums. And LeBron James said that it wasn't a failure. What a, like, don't get me wrong, Kobe was my guy, forever will be, and there was
That's a
years he
very
didn't
different
make the
Laker. This is
playoffs.
an embarrassing Laker team. The Kobe Laker team was still, even when they were losing, it was still prestigious to be a Laker fan.
Man, and some of those teams that the Lakers ran out there with Kobe Bryant on the floor were fucking atrocious, dude.
Yeah,
Atrocious.
Sasha Vujacic and freaking
Sasha Vujacic was the guy that you were lucky to have on the floor. I'm talking about fucking Vladimir Radmanovic.
Oh, yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Smush Parker. Pardon?
Oh yeah, Kobe's always had a lot to say about Smush Parker.
Kwame Brown. Who?
Who was the other guy? Not Kwame Brown. The other big Andrew Bynum.
Andrew Bynum, who was actually a pretty good Laker, and then he became a bust after he left the Lakers. But he was actually a pretty good Laker. By that time, that's when they were starting to get good again. Andrew Bynum, Pau Gasol, Derek Fisher came back.
D Fish, yeah.
Yeah, when your backup point guard's fucking. To be honest, he actually came into his form. But a young Jordan Farmar, like, get out of here. Shannon Brown, get out of here.
Shannon Brown had some serious hops though.
Smush Parker, get out of here.
This is the one I'll be watching later. Is the Bulls and the Bucks.
The Bulls and the Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't believe that fucking the goddamn Lakers didn't even make the play-ins. Not even that they didn't make the playoffs. They didn't even make the play-ins. They didn't even finish 10th.
They suck, man. And they someone's got to pay Russell Westbrook $47 million next year. Someone has to. He's getting paid from some team.
Can you believe that?
That's wild.
That is.
It's because he averaged a triple-double and got MVP, and that was his peak. And then
everybody, like, living in Canada, it's crazy because, like, so many people say that, like, Connor McDavid should take less money, and it's like, bro, Connor McDavid makes like $12 million a year. Don't get me wrong, Russell Westbrook's good, but if you went and saw, like, which NBA players make $12 million a year, you'd be like, who is that?
10 minutes a game.
Right?
Yeah.
The guy's damn near at the end of the bench. Like, I'm not even talking the sixth man.
Duncan Robinson's signed a 3-year, like $74 million, and that's Duncan Robinson for the Miami
Heat, right?
He signed like a 3-year, like
$74
$74 million. 3 years. But a lot of that's not going directly to them. They get taxed like a mother effer. But it's crazy.
I thought there was no income tax in Florida.
Well, it depends on. Well, that's what I was just gonna say. It depends on which state.
That's another thing.
Because that's why a lot of people choose on destinations where they want to play that no one really thinks about. Why? Is because if they go play in Texas and Houston, that money's
100% yours.
There's no state income. Well, they got to pay federal income tax.
Well, yeah, not 100%.
But you know what I mean. So, but then you go to New York, where state income tax is freaking very high.
That's why they always have a problem with people trying to play in Canada instead of the States,
That's
right?
right.
With like the exchange, they're like, fuck it.
That's
no one wants to go play for the Raptors.
It's not always about geography in terms of climate and stuff. It's about like the financial side of it too. These people are trying to optimize because I was reading an article, the average football career is like 4 years.
4 years.
So
yeah.
you're trying to
3 or 4 years.
maximize. Yeah, you're trying to maximize how much money you make in that so that you can plan for the future.
People have always asked me this before, and they were like, if you could become not just there's really two questions to it. If you could become like the fucking man, like an all-star, you're going to be a Hall of Famer, you've won a couple championships, like a Kevin Durant, a Steph Curry, a LeBron. Well, LeBron's even in GOAT conversations, but you know what I mean, like a very, very good player for a decade, an all-star, or even a mid-range player. Those are like the two questions. In which sports, which would you choose? If I had to be like the top player, I think I'd play soccer. Just because, like, man, some of those guys, like,
they're making some serious dollars.
$400,000 a week, dude. Mm-hmm. A week.
I like when they break it down how much they make per minute. It's like
per minute.
It's like 15 grand or some shit. It's
yeah,
like,
dude.
Jesus.
Some of them are ridiculous. And then, like, winning the World Cup and like the champion, like just being like being in soccer would be cool. But I think if I had to be like a mid-range player, because I'm pretty sure the fall off, like, there's so many ranges of soccer. Like, there's so many tiers, being like. If fucking FC Edmonton, let's just say, is near the bottom tier, like, though, like, fuck, it's not hard to make more than a Canadian Premier League player. If you have like a decent job with some benefits and shit, you're making more money than a Canadian Premier League player. But I think if you had to be like a mid-range guy, I think it'd almost have to be baseball, man. Baseball players make a lot of money. You can have a long career, and you know, just do your thing.
Yeah, baseball's weird like that. It's such an odd sport, like the way their schedule's built. There's like in the American League versus the National League. In one league, the pitcher bats. And
So in
then,
the world, I was thinking about this the other day. And I know you know baseball more. In the World Series, does the pitcher bat or does both teams use a designated hitter?
I think that they use. So I could be wrong on this, but I think it's whoever they use the rules of whichever team comes in at a higher standing.
So
I'm just kidding. I have no idea, but I honestly have no idea.
that's what I thought it was too, because I think that's why the playoff or the All-Star game actually kind of matters in baseball.
I don't think the pitchers pitch in the World Series.
Hit.
Or hit. I don't think they pitch. I don't think the pitchers hit in the World Series, but we'll see. But someone's job is just.
Well, hold on, because I've seen footage of fucking Big Papi, David Ortiz cranking home runs in the World Series.
Yeah, but
so
he's
the
a designated hitter.
So they have to hit.
But the designated hitter takes the place of the pitcher.
Exactly. So then the pitcher doesn't. But then on the other team, you don't have a designated hitter. Your pitcher hits. World Series rules, of course, mandate from on high and while wearing. The starting pitcher shall bat when games are played in the National League parks.
So it depends on which.
Do the who people ask. Do the first one down. Click on that. Like the drop down.
This one?
Yeah. Prior to 2020, pitchers were required to bat in all NL games and interleague games in which the NL was the designated home team. The designated hitter was not used in the World Series from 73 to 75, then was used in both World Series during the even number of years from 76 to 85.
So I think that if I can try to figure out what they're saying here, I think before that, depending on what stadium you're in, it was either DHs or pitchers, and now I think they're saying that it's only DHs. Pitchers do not have to pitch in the World Series.
Hit.
Or hit. Damn, I keep saying that.
Click on that first link. In the World Series, what is the rule? Sorry, that one. Yeah, that one right there. In the World Series, what is the rule about pitchers batting? This is from 7
years ago, though. It says 7 years. So maybe we should try to find a more recent one. Know what I mean?
So yeah, like if you're David Ortiz and you back in the day and you played for Boston and every other game you just don't play at all, like you just play every other game.
No, I think.
Because if I'm the designated hitter and you're the pitcher on our team,
David Ortiz wasn't the DH. He was first. He played first base for most of the time. But I know that doesn't answer your question. But
really?
Yeah, he was a first baseman.
Oh, I thought he was a designated hitter. Well, whatever. Whomever the designated hitter is on your team, let's just say it's me, and you're the pitcher. Does that mean all of the games in our park, I'm in the lineup, and then the games in the away games, you have to pitch and bat?
Yes.
And then I just fucking chill?
But I'm guessing when that happens, since you can sub people out of the game, maybe they all have. He plays.
But they ain't throwing me into pitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I said. Baseball's a weird sport, man. There's all these little technical...
Dude, speaking about weird in baseball, this is kind of like a little off topic. Yesterday, I just watched this YouTube video on why Zach Greinke
the pitcher?
is the weirdest athlete in sports. Man, this guy, I mean, he had like super anxiety and shit like that, but like some of the things that he did as a result of that were weird as fuck. Like, he told them that he didn't want to be a pitcher, he wanted to be a shortstop. And they were all like the Kansas City Royals, the first team he was with, were like, no, man, like you're the fucking best pitcher in the league. And then he told them when he pitched, at the next game was like a National League game or whatever, whichever it is where they hit, he was like, yo, I'm going to hit a home run next game. So the coach was like, all right, we'll leave you in, hit a home run. Apparently he did it with his eyes closed. He hit a home run with his eyes closed or something. I don't know. He's a super, super weird dude. And he just, like, during the lockout, when everybody would go into when his team was at bat, or not the lockout, sorry, like, no fans because of COVID, when his team was at bat, so everybody would go into the dugout, he'd go sit in the stands with no one around him, like, with those, like, plastic cutouts and shit, he'd just go sit by himself because he'd rather be by himself. He had, like, the best slider in the history of baseball or some shit. It was his best pitch. But he says it didn't even hurt him. His elbow just felt a little uncomfortable after he threw it, so he just stopped throwing it. Like, no doctor told him to do that. He just did it out of his own... Him and another pitcher made a bet on who could throw the slowest pitch and still get the guy out. He ended up throwing, like, a 53-mile-an-hour curveball in a game, and it's like the guy didn't swing on it. I don't know, man. He's apparently just, like, the weirdest guy. He has a bunch of other... He's just a weird fucking guy.
I think baseball is probably full of characters like that.
one of his managers figured out that he just like was like a socially awkward dude, so he was just like, "Listen, I'm only gonna talk to you once every 4 days." And Zach Greinke was like, "Bet." And then they just came to this understanding. He's like, if I don't have to talk to you, I'm not going to.
Yeah, whatever works, man.
Yeah.
To keep your star pony.
You've watched like The Last Dance, right?
The Michael Jordan
Yeah.
thing? Yeah.
You had to treat Dennis Rodman different than you treated everybody else,
he got
right?
to go to Vegas for 4 days with Madonna or whatever.
No, Carmen Electra.
Carmen Electra, yeah. Shout out Dennis Rodman.
Carmen Electra, as I'm sure Carmen Electra and many others were in that hotel room. I don't assume it was just the one girl.
Maybe that's where the first time you met Kim Jong-un or whatever. Because remember they're
Yeah, those guys are buddies.
and they're pen pals from then on. But yeah.
But hey, man, like Jordan said later in that documentary when they were running that, I don't remember what he called it, but the drill where the whole team lines up 1 to 10, and if you're in 10th place, you got to get to first. And then once you become first, the person who's now 10th has to get to first, and you have to keep passing each other while you're running. So technically, the guy in first place is really setting the pace because the guy in 10th has to beat him. So it matters how fast he's running. So Michael Jordan said, like, hey, I'm gonna go play golf later. Like, let's just do this nice and easy. Everybody just jog. Apparently, Dennis Rodman just got back from Vegas and took off fucking running, and apparently no one could catch him. So if you go to Vegas and party with fucking porn stars for 4 days and you come back and Dennis and fucking Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen can't catch you.
Maybe he was still jacked up on that devil's dandruff.
The devil's dandruff? Yeah, probably.
The Colombian marching powder.
I remember in that documentary, in that episode, there's a clip of Dennis Rodman leaving a game, drinking a beer, walking to a motorcycle, drinking a beer, puts the beer down, gets on the motorcycle, sans helmet, no helmet, and then just dips. All on, like, recorded on TV and shit.
Yeah, that guy takes not giving a fuck to a whole other level. And it's cool. Whatever. If it works for him, it works for him.
I got one more thing before we get out of here. You want to hear some dumb shit that I did last week?
Sure.
Last week, remember how we got out of here and Nico and I were going to go watch the FC Edmonton game?
Yeah.
It's fucking freezing outside. The
remember.
wind is so goddamn cold. We sit where we usually sit for the first half. It is fucking freezing. The second, Clark Stadium, how there's like the bleachers on the one side, then like the actual like concrete made like stands on the other. So we move over to that side. We're kind of taking some refuge behind the little press box or whatever. Edmonton's losing 1-0, 89th minute.
Oh, yeah.
I look at Nico. I'm like, hey, man, you want to get out of here? He's like, sure. We walk down to the sidelines, 90th minute. I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. Fuck it. Let's get out of here. He's like, yeah, all right. We leave. We're still in the parking lot. We hear this erupt. Yeah. Fans going fucking crazy. You couldn't imagine 500 fans making this much noise. We're like, what the fuck? I guess FC Edmonton scored, tied it up. Yeah, so I go home that day. We look on Instagram. Tobias Warczewski, probably FC Edmonton's best player this year, this German guy, scores a Ronaldinho-esque bicycle kick. The guy keeps it in from going out of bounds. One FC Edmonton player crosses it into the guy. 94th minute, the last kick of the game, controls the ball on his leg, spins his back to the net, does this crazy fucking bicycle kick top corner. Probably what would have been the fucking nicest goal I've ever actually seen with my own eyes in the history of my soccer life. And yeah, we stood fucking 90 minutes in the freezing cold to leave 2 minutes before it happened. It was terrible.
I saw the highlight when Nico shared it on the group chat, and it looked like a sick goal.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're a fair weather fan. I'm just joking.
I guess, man. Joking. Ashamed of myself.
Well, at least so it was just a tie then, right?
Yeah, and then they tied again on Friday, and they tied again 1-1, although neither of the goals were as nice as that one. But that doesn't happen very often. I can't believe it. I can't believe that happened at a game I was at and I left early. I'd never leave early. That's like probably one of like 3 sporting events I've ever left early in my life.
And now you're going to think about sticking around for 20 minutes even after the game in case you miss something now because of that.
The other times I left early were Oilers games where they're getting blown out.
Those happen.
Like if it's like 5-1 with like 6 minutes left, I'm out of here, man. I'll try and beat the traffic.
Yeah.
Anyway, Thanks, producer Zach, for helping me bounce some ideas off him for another week. We probably went over a little bit over the 45 minutes that I said we were going to do because we got to rambling, but there's nothing wrong with that. I won't be here next week, but the program will still go on. Same bad time, same bad channel. This has been another episode. Oh, fuck. I always forget at the beginning to say rate, review, subscribe, comment, share, upvote, all that. Zach, make this the clip at the beginning.
I got you.
Rate, review, subscribe, comment. I know some of you did comment, and Nico hasn't replied yet because Zach and I didn't trust him with the password, but we'll get it to him this week so he can engage with the fans a little bit. Fans, I say very half-heartedly, but thank you guys that have commented on the videos. We appreciate it. And all the shares that we have got, all 2 or 3 of them, we appreciate it. Shout out TJ. And thank you guys. Join us next week. That's been another episode of 7 Days Makes 1 Week.